G'day, Greg here. Well, today I was going to show you how to get that oiler working on your chainsaw again. It's quite a common problem, so let's take a look at how it all works and how we can attempt to fix it if yours isn't working properly. My uncle is actually going to do this demonstration. Now he's a little bit camera shy, so I'll let him do the talking. So this is a chainsaw we're going to be working on today. It's called a John Red. I've never heard of it, but pretty much all chainsaws work on the same oiling principle.
Get rid of the chain. The problem is that the oiler is hidden in behind this plate here, which is behind your main drive. Now this creates two problems. First, that means that we have to get the main drive shaft off the spindle. Now the problem, of course, is that when you try to turn this, the whole piston moves. So the first thing I do is lock the piston in place. Now to do that, we need to get the spark plug out. Take out the spark plug. Alright, now here's the trick. What we've got to do is block the piston from moving. And the best way to do that is just with a piece of rope. Now I've melded the ends of that just to stop any loose fibres from getting into the cylinder. And basically you just insert enough of this to wedge the piston in place. Now that means that the piston can't move, so we should be able to, remembering that we want to turn this clockwise to undo it. Now we used nylon rope for that because it's being soft, it won't damage the piston head. Drive comes off, that comes out, and that's giving you access to your chain oiler. Just prise this cover off, and that exposes the oiler. Now the way these work...
Where's the oiler?
Basically this is the oil pump here, and it works off a little drive cam underneath, sucks oil out of the oil reservoir through this little hose, and the oiler here then pumps oil into this reservoir, and from there it feeds through these oil ports into the chain guide. So the two things that we need to make sure that these oil ports are clean, we need to make sure that the bar is clean in here to allow the oil through, and we need to make sure that the oiler is actually working. Now this is just a little plug-in. Alright, and there is your oiler. It works by the screw on this drive shaft. As the drive shaft turns from the motor, that screw turns this little wheel, and the wheel drives this pump which sucks oil through that out of this hose and out through there into the oil guide. So we need to make sure there's no gunk caught around any of the drive mechanism here. So it's just a matter of giving a good clean. As this gets turned by the drive shaft, it drives a little piston here which bleeds the oil through. Now, oilers on other models and other brands are somewhat different, but they still work on a similar sort of principle. Now the only thing to be a little cautious of when you're putting this back together is to make sure that those holes line up. Make sure that the hole in the pump lines up with a hole in the outlet of the rubber housing.
Now it's time to give this a good clean up while the cover's off.
Now there's the air hole for the chain reservoir, for the oil reservoir. So that allows air to be sucked into the oil reservoir, which is on the other side here, and as the pump draws the oil through this hose, up through the pump, into this little reservoir here, and from there it feeds through the oil port down through this hole and up into the chain guide. So one of the other things we need to do is to make sure this chain guide's clean. We want to make sure that the little oil hole here is free. The little rubber housing's in the right place. Fit this back into the oil uptake pipe. Remembering that this is a left-hand thread, so we have to turn it anti-clockwise to put it on. That's it. We can remove the rope from the piston. All about it, might as well clean the spark plug.
Time to restart the chainsaw, and let's check to see if the oil is flowing through properly now. As you can see, there's a nice little spray of oil coming out of there, which means it's oiling the chain properly to get the maximum performance out of your chainsaw. Special thanks to my uncle for showing us that demonstration, and I do hope it helped you in some way. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm Greg the Gardener.